Doesn't sound good. It sounds, I mean, and this is just the beginning. Tuesday was just day 2, so we're just getting things kicked off.
Yeah, it's
It's a strong way. Usually start and end with your strongest witnesses. So Cassie coming up front, I would imagine there's going to be another star witness that closes this out.
yeah, it's just very vivid details. And at first, you heard nothing from Cassie. They had settled.
Yeah.
You remember that whole thing, and now it's like she's just kind of being forced to relive all this. She obviously has moved on with her life. She is pregnant on the stand, but it's just very vivid. And there's a lot of stuff I left out. It's the Pop Report.
So juicy.
Do you ever drink coconut water?
I haven't had coconut water in a while. What is this, 2017?
It just looks like sperm. Like, you ever, like,
Is sperm typically pink? What is that?
it looks like sperm. Like,
That does not, that's way too cloudy for coconut water. You need to get, that looks like a UTI.
it's a
Something's
yeast
wrong there.
infection in a mug. Well, in
Yeah.
a cup. It's just,
I've never seen coconut water that thick and
oh,
cloudy.
it's vanilla viscous over here. I don't know what. It's good.
It looks
It's
like
hydrating.
whale sperm.
Looks like a whale cock, Kim Petras. You don't even know what that means, and that's fine.
No.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
We're doing the best we can.
Yeah.
All the mothers, shout out to you. You really
yeah.
drove up the flower business this weekend.
That they did.
Did you do anything for Mother's Day?
I spent the day with my mother.
And
And we went to brunch and we went to have sushi dinner and we spent, time together.
you spent money too.
A lot of money.
Yeah. Like,
What did you do for your mom? Because she's not here in LA.
my mom, my stepmom, my grandmother, they all got flowers. But somehow on a Saturday night, right before Mother's Day, it goes, sorry, just kidding. We can't deliver this to your area. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? It's Saturday night and you decide to send me this now. So my mother still hasn't gotten her flowers.
Oh, no.
It said Monday or Tuesday for delivery. Don't know if she got it.
Oh, well, that's not good.
No. But damn, to deliver flowers that I could make myself from Trader Joe's, damn, that's money. I will say kudos to all of you people who are florists. My mother was a florist at one point, but damn, y'all have raised your prices. Like, they are up there. $90 for a bouquet, $80. Like, I can make one for like $15, but
Then do it. Come to downtown, go to the flower mart, make your own
I'll
little
fucking pick you
bouquets.
some flowers, Zach. So I do it at home all the time, but I'm like, damn,
Well,
Pennsylvania prices still are up there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta get those flowers. Gotta get those. Wait, bring your friends. Wear your florals. It's
Bring your
Mother's Day.
mothers. Yeah. What a time. What a time.
What a
We-
time.
We have not let up on those references, I feel like, since the age of Dawn. Bring your friends.
Since the age of Adeline.
That too. That too. Well, obviously, if you like the Pop Report, you should do what?
Subscribe and hit the like button. Leave us a review. Drop a comment if you're listening to this on Spotify or watching on YouTube. Show all the love to the Pop Report.
Show up or show the fuck out. Tinder date, getting ahead, whatever it is, stop and hit that button, which a lot of you don't. Like 65% of you don't on YouTube, so like it's fine. I'm just passive and aggressive today. So
Yes.
I feel the need to fight today for some reason. I feel like we
Really?
switched shoes.
We did. I feel so passive and calm. I'm learning how to just listen and not react and not respond, but just like take in feedback and listen and just be, an open ear.
Love an open hole. Anyway, we have a lot to get into today. As your
Yes.
favorite thing to do is talk all things legal. I feel like that is all things legal today.
Today's
this
episode is so yummy.
Today's episode is sponsored by Testimonies.
Mm.
That's
lot
what it
of
feels like.
testimonies.
There's a lot. Which one do you want to start the bingo wheel of?
Let's start with the
legal-
biggest one, which is Cassie testifying in the Diddy. So we have 3 cases that are open this week. We have
Trace.
the Diddy trial. We
Too
have
much.
Kim Kardashian's Paris robbery trial. So
much.
she's in Paris testifying. And then we have the Menendez brothers resentencing hearing, which is happening here in Los Angeles. So 3 stories that we've covered on the show in the past that are now all taking the headlines this week.
Yeah, and Kim and Glenn Close and Nicey Nash Betts.
Oh, that's right. Her new movie. Or her
Yeah,
new
All's Fair,
series.
the legal drama. Like
Yep.
too much. It just coincides. Anyway, like what a week. Okay. Have you kept up with all of these? Because I know the Cassie one. Like,
I know the Kim one and the Menendez brothers one, and I like loosely dipped into the Cassie one this morning.
bitch,
So give us the rundown on Cassie. What
bitch.
happened with her testimony? I know she was talking about the freak offs, and she said that she was just like a rotisserie chicken with all the baby oil. She talked about how violent he was. I know I heard some of the recaps.
She, this woman, I feel for her.
Yeah.
Like, of all of these, I don't care what else the other ones are. This one is like, I think, to hear what this woman went through, I read, I feel like Zach Peter. I read this so you don't have to. I watched this so you don't have to. She, ugh, I read a couple different things on this. Cassie took to the stand. This is going to take days, mind you, days of her testimony. Usually you're like, okay, it's like a little short. This is so detailed that they are spending so much time, and she is just tearfully having a gut-wrenching time sitting up on that stand, and she's pregnant.
Mm.
So having a pregnant woman remember all these incidents with Diddy is just traumatizing. It's first of all bonkers to read. Imagine experiencing it. But Cassie went on to detail everything, well, so far in the time she's been on the stand, that happened. So Cassie, they have like a bunch of drawings. They have like a bunch of things specifically. I don't think there's cameras allowed in this
So what did
court.
she say in the courtroom?
She basically said and detailed what happened between her and Sean Diddy Combs in these freak offs at hotels. She was like, look, yes, they happened. And she details how protective and overbearing this man was from the jump. So she, in her time, she was talking about the 11-year relationship. She basically said that, since she was 19, they met, and now she is, a lot older. She basically was like, look, he gave my life. Like, he had so much in my hand. But at such a young age, in 2007, she celebrated her like 21st birthday. That's where she sets the stage first.
Mm-hmm.
She talks about like, okay, y'all want to know how old was I, what was going on, and she started detailing just like when she first met him. So she said, quote, I was so young, I didn't have the vocabulary for some of the things we talked about. She said, I was sexually inexperienced. So she's like, let me set the stage. But when she was 22, she said, is when a trip to Miami occurred and he introduced her to these alleged freak offs, which she confirmed. They are days long, drug fueled at hotels where she says he watches and masturbates as she has sex with male escorts. So when he first proposed this idea, she felt very nervous. She was like, I didn't understand it. I don't know this turn on. I'm so young. But she, quote, loved him and
How
wanted to,
old was
quote,
she?
make him happy. 22.
Okay.
So eventually,
Kind of, it's not like 18. 22 is your of legal drinking age. You're
still very young. Very young when you're still, like
impressionable, sure.
sexually exploring things. She
Dependent on
describes,
when she started exploring things, but yes.
right. So she described this to the room, saying that eventually he instructed her to organize these freak offs. And so that involved setting up the hotel room for 3 people. It would be weekly and last days at a time. She said 4 days on average. She said the longest she remembers, was like exactly 4 days. But she was given drugs like mushrooms, ketamine, marijuana. She said that like she never had a time that she was sober during all of this. So she said
She
it was
was forcefully giving her these drugs, or she was
she said
imbibing in these, because those sound like party drugs.
right. She said she was given drugs so she could perform. It doesn't say she was forced to under will.
Okay.
But she said the freak offs became a job where there was no space to do anything else but recover and try to feel normal again after they had happened. She said she would spend days trying to get rehydrated just to try to feel functioning again. But she goes into such vivid detail because she said she didn't want to have sex with strangers. But she said she didn't feel like she had a choice because he recorded these specifically and he would watch them back. She said she feared he would have blackmail by releasing the footage online. So she said, I really had no choice. And so he also had the future of my career at his hands. She wanted to have privacy. Yeah. She offered to pay for her own Studio City apartment. And he was like, no, like, I'm going to pay for everything. I'm going to be a part of everything. He had keys. He would show up unannounced. But she was like, I really tried to have my own life, and he wouldn't let me have it. She went on to say in this that he would turn abusive, knock her over, drag, stomp, kick. That's how we saw that video footage. And it would happen too frequently, she said. She would have bruises, black eyes, and knots on her forehead, visibly.
I mean, one time alone is frequent enough. There's
that
he should never put his hands on her. There's never an acceptable time where he should be physically assaulting her in that way.
She still said through this, quote, there was still love there. She was described suffering a, quote, psychological abuse when dating him, when he wanted the control. She said he made her turn down professional opportunities while holding the music career above and hostage of her. He would say things like, fix your face, watch your mouth, fix your shit. And yeah, he would have security guards keep an eye on her. So through all this, you're thinking, okay, this is a lot. Yeah. She also went into detail about the logistics of getting these freak-offs to happen. And it's pretty, I'm going to say it's pretty detailed as a warning for anybody who's in the car with their children. Get a little tight. So she had to order the escorts specifically. She was in charge of asking one man to come to the hotel room. They would have 10 bottles of baby oil, and they would heat them up to the point that they were, quote, glistening. It would be on Sean Diddy Combs, whoever the third party was, and Cassie as well. She said no matter what, she was on her period, she was expected to perform these freak-offs, and they said that it would get to the point where the hotel rooms would be very damaged from the oil, the blood, the things that would happen in there, for 3 or 4 days, She was also subjected to basically objectify these men to Sean Diddy Combs. She would basically have to describe the sex worker's penis to him and say how much she liked it and how it was looking and if it was flaccid, like how veiny it was, and it would get him off. But she would book these hotel rooms under the alias of Jackie Star, and then he would sometimes book these under the aliases of Frank Black or Frank White. When the escorts arrived, she would also have to vet them specifically and see if they were cops. So she would ask them and say, hey, describe to me like your voyeuristic fantasy. Like, tell me what you're going to do to me. Tell me all this stuff. And yeah, like it got to the point where in the courtroom, they had to object quite a bit because of the baby oil comments. That's obviously a big thing that's brought up in here. But Astroglide, baby oil, the escorts, from what I also saw, their driver's license, one of them, I think, said it was taken for photo proof, just for, quote, insurance, to make sure that if Diddy needed to get dirt on somebody, he would do it. And he also had them on video. So we are going to have one of those escorts testify, it seems. But yeah, it is pretty vivid and detailed, and that's just kind of scratching the surface. So it's not good.
Doesn't sound good. It sounds, and this is just the beginning. Tuesday was just day 2, so we're just getting things kicked off.
Yeah,
it's a strong way. Usually start and end with your strongest witnesses. So Cassie coming up front, I would imagine there's going to be another star witness that closes this out.
Yeah, it's just very vivid details. And at first you heard nothing from Cassie. They had settled. You
Yeah.
know, you remember that whole thing, and now it's like she's just kind of being forced to relive all this. She obviously has moved on with her life. She is pregnant on the stand, but it's just very vivid, and there's a lot of stuff I left out. Um, I don't know how necessarily this is going to turn, who the next witness is going to be, and what else she's going to say, but even security guards are being interviewed um, as well.
Good. I mean, they're the ones that saw everything. I mean, all of the things that have come out against him, it's hard to even.
It's like, what charge are you going to do? Because I feel like there's so many different things you could go after him for. I don't know what they're
Yeah.
ultimately going to try to charge him with.
Well, they charged him with, what was it, racketeering,
Mm-hmm.
and there were, I think, 5 different charges that he's currently facing. So, I mean, we'll see how that all plays out. I think Cassie is a really strong witness. She's a known name. The fact that she was even willing to testify, considering she settled with him, what, in 2023? I know that his
Yeah.
attorney at one point was trying to come out and say that the video that they released of him and her from the hotel, that
What
it
was
was
like
altered in
FBI?
some way. Yeah, and I don't know.
Oh my god, baby cakes. What do you think
Yes.
they should do if they love listening to this?
Well, we have lots more tea to spill, but you should hit the subscribe button right now so that you're always up to date.
And if you're listening somewhere else, leave a review, drop a comment. I don't know.
Hit the like button.
Shit talk on Zack.
I like all the likes. I'm still a millennial and I love that validation.
Back to the good stuff.
It's crazy, but we'll see what the Diddy trial brings. We're 2 days in, and hopefully, hopefully there's some justice by the end of it, which is looking a little promising for Kim Kardashian. She was just in Paris, or she's currently in Paris with her mom, Kris Jenner, and she's testifying in the robbery,
I
the
was going to say, take
trial
a deep
against
breath
the guys.
before we go on to the next case, but here we are.
So, well, we covered the last one to death.
Yeah.
So Kim Kardashian, a lot of people are giving her heat though. So she is in Paris to testify against these. It's funny because the robbers are in their 60s and 70s. So it was a group of men. I
Right.
believe one of them has passed away. One of them ended up getting really sick and has been released from the trial. But so there are still a group of men that were the ones that targeted Kim, and they used her social media and her geotags, and they were following her sisters to see, like, the sisters were out at the club, and the bodyguard was with the sisters. Therefore, they knew that Kim was going to be alone. And Kim even admitted on the stand that she had her bodyguard. He wasn't staying in her suite, but he was staying in a room nearby. So she assumed that that would be some sort of level of protection that she would have at her hotel. But apparently the robbers dressed up as policemen, got the concierge to come up. They handcuffed him, forced him to let them into Kim's room. She was there with somebody else who was, like, downstairs. Kim was upstairs. They came running upstairs. They got her. They taped her hands. They taped her mouth. She said that she was screaming, and she was telling them that she had to live because she had kids. And I guess that's when her friend who was downstairs heard what was going on, text Courtney, text the bodyguard, and said, something's not right. You guys need to come back. Kim tried to call them. She wasn't able to. Kim also tried to call the I guess whatever the local authorities were, but
Right.
911 isn't the same in the States
No.
as it is in Paris. So she didn't really know what to do. They ended up just tying her up, and luckily one of the guys ended up putting her into the bathtub as they came and took her jewelry. And they took millions of dollars worth of jewelry. They ended up fleeing the scene. And it's crazy because even as they were leaving the scene, they even dropped some jewelry that was later found and ultimately was able to get linked back to these guys. They call them the grandpa burglars. I mean, in
Ugh.
French, but in English it translates to the grandpa burglars. Because it's funny, these are 70-year-old men that are,
They're wanting some coin or some diamonds. Who
yeah.
knows?
But so here's well, I guess to finish up with her testimony, she claims that eventually she got up. She was able to use the sink to take the duct tape off her hands, and then she was able to get downstairs and get to her phone. That's why her and her friend, they came out. They ended up running out onto the patio, hiding in the bushes. Kim called her mom because I guess she didn't know who else to call. She called her mom. She called Courtney. And so eventually cops came. She had to testify, but she was, visibly shaken up by it. And in the years since then, decided to dial back on her glam and on her jewelry and on flashing. She says that now she can't sleep without having like 6 bodyguards at her
6?
home. Yeah. And so, but the interesting thing too, and a lot of people are giving her a lot of flack for this, is she went to the trial wearing a $3 million necklace. And not only did she wear a $3 million necklace at trial, but a press release went out to the
About
local
the necklace.
media letting them know about the necklace and who the designer is. Which is interesting
Hmm.
because I'm just like I'm torn because part of me is like, well, this seems like a very tacky move. Like you're flashing your diamonds, you're flashing your wealth, and yet you're here because it was that flashiness that ultimately got you caught up in this position to begin with, number one. But number two, I can also see, and I would imagine this will be part of a storyline on the Kardashians where, Kim opens up about how wearing this jewelry was her way to show them that they didn't, they
They didn't
didn't
succeed.
destroy her. They didn't take anything away from her. Like she's still going to be who she is. She's still going to flaunt, her diamonds because she can. It's
Hmm.
it's a strange choice. I understand people feeling conflicted about it, but
It's
I
different
don't know.
wealth too. Think of it that way. Like we're at a different wealth status, and like that, like a $3 million necklace is probably like a drop to maybe a different person in different shoes. Um,
She also revealed that she ended up using her insurance payout to buy an even bigger diamond ring than the one that had been stolen from her. So I imagine that this is part of her kind of retaking or reclaiming her power.
Reowning, yeah.
Yeah, as being like, I'm going to wear jewels in front of you to show you that justice will be done. This is me. This is my life. You didn't take this away from me. It is a little materialistic, so I
Hmm.
don't, I get it from both sides,
Kim,
but
people are dying.
yeah.
Like one of
So
those, but it's also like I saw this argument online. Someone was like, "Well, when people are wearing it, they're kind of asking to be robbed, or like for it to be like attack." I'm like,
yeah, no,
"No, don't
no,
don't
yeah.
go don't go that route, please,
No,
no."
you're not asking to be robbed. You should be able to afford and wear, wealthy things, clothes, jewelry, go on lavish trips. Like just because you have money doesn't mean you should be making yourself a target. There's something wrong with the people that want to target you than you for showing off your wealth. It may be tone deaf in certain instances, it may be tacky, but you're entitled to work
Wealth.
hard, earn your money, and relish in your wealth.
Oh, I
But
love me a good relish.
not as lucky are the Menendez brothers. Things are not looking good for them. They have
No.
their resentencing hearing that started this week on Tuesday, and they have a number of witnesses and family members that are testifying and trying to get them released early or at least given an opportunity to be resentenced and at least get parole, since right now they're in prison for life without parole. So at least if they get parole, they'll have an opportunity to show that they've rehabbed themselves and that they are in a better place and that they're not the same murdering teenage boys that they were back in
Right.
the day.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem like the DA, Nathan Hochman, wants to give
No.
them
He
any
is
grace.
he doesn't want shit for them. Like he was
Yeah.
unhappy. Yeah, I watched that on Today's Show this morning. So he is different. You remember Kermit the Frog, Gascon? Like
Yeah.
very different energy. He is vividly like outward. We don't want these people on the streets. What could happen? What's going to be going on? And there's a lot of things that people were like, they don't seem like they feel remorseful for the act and like all these different things.
I feel like they're remorseful. I feel like they've definitely learned their lesson and helped rehab their image. One of the witnesses is somebody that they helped get out of prison through his own parole process. So I do think that they have rehabbed themselves. I mean, I go back and forth with the motive and whether or not it really was premeditated and if they really did intend on killing their parents. What was the motivation behind that? Was it for the money? Like we kind of go back and forth. We
Yeah.
obviously saw Ryan Murphy's series, which I know he has a third installment of Monsters coming out because the first one was Jeffrey Dahmer, the second one was the Menendez brothers, and then now he has a third installment that's going to be coming out soon. But I don't know. It's not looking too promising for the Menendez
Mm,
brothers. Well, I guess it'll ultimately come down to the judge, right? Like the DA can
yeah.
make his suggestions. But yeah, we'll see what the judge decides.
Who
But it
gonna
seems
check
like
me,
they
boo?
have some pretty compelling witnesses. So
I need a minute. I need like an aspirin from all that legal news. Like, it's just sometimes I'm just like, oh my God, funny little ha-has. I'm like, there's nothing funny about this.
I
Like,
know.
I like being able to fucking rip ass on whatever topic, but not when it's legal. It's like, what is it going to be?
Yeah.
Who's it going to affect? But we have some silly bitch news to get to because we love silly bitch news.
Let's do it.
When was the last time you went to a movie theater besides with me?
I
Exactly.
think the last time I was at a movie theater, it was for
Good
Final
Grief.
Destination 5 and then Good Grief.
Yeah, so you don't go to the movie theaters anymore.
No, I want to though. Are there any good movies coming out?
That's a debatable topic for some people, but AMC has just announced that they are going to discount movie theater tickets by 50% on Wednesdays.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, okay,
On
so there's a
Wednesdays,
reason
we
to
get
it.
50% off.
I mean, think of this necessarily. I saw a friend who posted on Facebook, yes, Facebook, the other day, a huge thread. He's like, I've been in casting for like almost 8 years. I've seen so much change. I saw it in the glory days. I've seen the change to streaming and the budget's dropped and people don't want to go to the movie theaters anymore.
Yeah.
People don't want to go to the movie theaters.
No.
Full stop. Nobody wants to go. No one wants to pay the price. There's probably a title they're not happy with. The strike, pandemic, the whole mix. When streaming came around, it's a different market. And so people don't want to leave their home. I'm also one of them. Like, I get it. I like the comfort of my home.
Yeah.
But AMC's like, hey girl, if I make it cheap, would you make a little pit stop? But AMC also, they give you such a deal for $24 a month that you have AMC Gold or Stubs, whatever it may be. You can go as many times as you want. So like, is this for the girls that don't have AMC Stubs like us? Because I'm still not going to get Stubs, number one. Number two, Wednesday. Unless you have children, I feel like Wednesday's a really good day. Sometimes we work though. Like, it's a weird day of the week.
Well, I would imagine a slow day of the week, and that's why they do it. That's why like happy hours are set at certain times, is because they want to make sure that they're bringing in traffic when there isn't typically traffic. And I would imagine Wednesdays are very slow days.
Yeah. Mondays, there are a couple times I've gone to the movie theaters at night on Mondays, and there's discounts for that rate because it's a weekday, you know? But like, I could see if a Thursday night, you know, like try to get people to go to the movies on Thursdays. If you really try to make some footfall happen, that's like a potential day. I would say, look, if I'm on the board at AMC, I know there's people who want to go out on Thursdays. They want to do something. What if we incentivize them to drink at the movie theaters? I don't know, like discounted.
Listen, that's the only thing that's getting me out to the movies these days is if you have a nice experience, like maybe some dinner or even just cocktails. Like when movie theaters added bars, that was a major incentive. But now it's more of just about like good movies. Like what movies do I even want to go into the theaters and watch? I think I watched Top Gun Maverick in theaters, which was great. I saw it twice in theaters. Twice or 3 times? I think only twice. And then Barbie I saw in theaters. Like it has to be like an event that we go out and watch the movies in a theater. Otherwise, like you said, there's just the convenience of watching it at home now or waiting until it's available on streaming, you know?
Like I tried to do with Wicked, but I still didn't watch it when it came on streaming.
Oh, I did watch it when it came on streaming.
That's
But
what
I don't think I would have gone to the theater for it.
I feel like you would drink at the theater if it was a good price.
Well, but that's the thing is I went to see Barbie in the theater and I had too many drinks. So then I like fell asleep by the end of it. Not because it was bad, but because I had a few too many wines.
Well, that's fine. Well, that's my marketing scheme. AMC, if you're listening to this, you know what to do. I think bring the potential of Thursday over the hump.
Well, I don't think Thursday is a slow traffic day, whereas like Monday through Wednesday definitely is. But you know who does need to be discounting their tickets like AMC is Bravo. So BravoCon just announced their ticket sales for
after the pause of all the shows.
Yep. So we have they have 2 ticket tiers. They have a GA and a VIP ticket tier. Both give you a full 3-day admission to BravoCon, which is held at the Caesars Forum in Las Vegas. Now, people are upset about the price of these tickets because they are pretty steep. So what were the prices for Coachella?
$5.99, $6.50
for the full weekend.
Yeah.
And how long was the weekend? Friday through Sunday or Saturday, Sunday?
Friday,
so all 3 days.
Yeah.
Okay. So BravoCon tickets for GA for the 3 days starts at $672.
What
and if
the fuckery gets you with that?
Okay, well, here's the Bravo Holic ticket.
Do you get like a
three.
meet and greet with Brandy Glanville or what?
Nope. You get a 3-day general admission ticket to BravoCon, which includes all 3 days of Bravo-filled fun at the Caesars Forum,
Pass.
Bravo Lab photo ops by reservation. So you have to make a
By
reservation.
reservation.
Yeah, you have to go on and find like what talent is doing the photo ops at what time, and then you have to make a reservation. Then you have to get in line. And you're
You
not
know
even
all the girls
guaranteed a
hate
photo, I
that.
think.
You know all the girls are upset.
Yep, they have Bravo themed experiences and photo ops, which are essentially like the little like the things that we see at all of our events. You know, the little like fun, like, oh, let me take a photo in this little stand or in this little booth or whatever.
Yeah.
They have the Bravo Bazaar shopping experience, and so it's basically where all the Bravo stars set up their booths
Merch
to sell
lines.
their merch. Yeah. You can shop shop Bravo's on-site store, so you can buy Bravo merch, some more opportunities to spend your money. Option to purchase Bravo Palooza add-on experience. So basically, it's giving you access to buy all these extras. You can buy merch at the store.
You're
or
gonna
you
drop $2,000 at the end of the time.
Well, not only that, this doesn't include your flight or your hotel. And Vegas hotels, depending on where you stay, are not always cheap. You have the option to buy tickets to BravoCon Live. So literally, all you have access to are the panels at BravoCon, because everything else is the option to buy tickets to BravoCon Live, the option to buy tickets to Bravo Palooza, the option to buy merch at the Bravo store, the option to go to the Bravo Bazaar and shop at those booths. You really only have the access to like the photo ops and the
Sounds
the
like you're
panels.
going.
That's $672 plus tax.
Oh, there's
Then
another level. That's right.
the next level, you want to guess how much this one is?
$925.
$1,463.
What in the Fire Festival are we pulling here? Why? What does that get you? Sonia Morgan's like exclusive pop-up?
Here you get the VIP fast lane access at Caesars Forum. So rather than waiting in the general line, you can wait into the VIP line, and then you can just kind of breeze through. It's like a fast pass at Disneyland.
No.
You get preferred seating at all BravoCon panels, so that's generally just like a section where there's VIP seating up front. You get access to exclusive lounge spaces at Caesars Forum, early access to Bravo Leb photo ops by reservation. So that kind of sucks if you get early access to the photo ops at reservation and then like they fill up so that the GA doesn't really get them. Then they have a fast lane access to the experiences and photo ops, the fast lane access to sips and snacks locations and the BravoCon Bistro. You get priority entry to special add-on experiences, including Bravo Palooza with separately purchased tickets. So you have to buy a ticket.
You sound like an ad. This is like a dedicated ad read for BravoCon at this point.
It just, I don't understand. And then here are all the add-ons. You can buy a ticket to Bravo Palooza. You can buy a ticket to BravoCon Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen. But you have to buy a ticket every single night if you want to attend those.
God. Who attends? I want to know. Who attends for that price point? They're like, I could have put my rent down today, but I instead paid for my BravoCon ticket.
It's literally wild.
That's a lot to ask. I mean, I've never attended BravoCon. You have one time.
I've never attended BravoCon.
I thought you went with Weight Watchers.
I went to Vegas and did the Weight Watchers party bus, which was technically in conjunction with BravoCon, but I didn't actually go to BravoCon.
That's facts. Yeah. Well, damn.
Oh my God, I just got a notification.
Saying you're invited to BravoCon?
No, I just got an Amazon gift box for Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. They sent me a gift so that when I watch, I can enjoy Les Madeleines.
What are those?
It's a French-style pastry.
French style for Mormon girls. Also, wait, how was that? You went to the premiere.
Yes.
We're transitioning from things you actually went to.
Yes.
You obviously went to the premiere. I did not get to stop by the fun little truck they had all throughout LA. By the time I went, I was like, was it Slurp, the soda place they were trying to like make on wheels? Swig. Slurp, close enough. I was like, look, it's probably gonna be sold out by the time I get there. But it looked fun from whatever you did at the premiere.
So it was fun.
It
So
was
the funny
yummy.
thing, the funny thing is, I got to tape lots of fun content with Swig at the premiere as well. Um, well, it was, I didn't follow the rules at the premiere.
You drank.
No, 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 no. I
Bad
always
Mormon.
no, no, no. I arrived. It was at Paramount Theater, and so I pulled up and I arrived at Paramount Theater. And when we arrived, the woman at the front was like, "Oh, your car can pull up to the side over here. They can pull up in one of those spots, and then there are golf carts, and the golf carts will take you where you need to be."
Oh my
And I
God.
was like, "Okay." And then we pulled up, but my car happened to pull up right behind the cast of the Mormon Wives.
As it should.
So I assumed that the golf cart was for the wives and not for me.
So you walked like a plebeian.
Hold on. So we pull up and they get out and then they get into the golf cart. And then I'm like, I don't think I'm supposed to get into that. She probably thought that I was somehow with the staff because both of our cars pulled up and we were in the same style. We were in like both black Suburban. So I think she just assumed that I was with them. And so I was like, I'm going to not listen to the instruction and I'm going to not get onto the golf cart. I'm going to see if I can find my own way around.
No.
So then I went and I ended up showing up at the carpet a little too early because nobody else was at the carpet. And I was like, where is everybody? Everybody was supposed to be here at this time. And I was like 15 minutes late. So I was like, what is happening? And then the lady at the front was like kind of annoyed because like, I don't know. So she's like, you can walk the carpet now if you want. And I was like, okay, fine. But literally nobody was walking the carpet. So I was like, okay. And so I went to walk the carpet and I'm doing my photos and it's kind of awkward because there's literally nobody else there. It's just me walking the carpet.
Love.
And then I go and then I see my friend Lauren at Access Hollywood and I do an interview with her on the carpet. And then I just keep walking and then I walk into the event and I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm doing. Stuff still looks like it's being set up. And I'm like, did I get the time wrong or what? And then I see people starting to walk into the theater. And so I was like, okay, maybe that's where I'm supposed to go. So then I go to walk into the theater, and then the man's like, whoa, 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 where are you going? And I was like, I don't know. I'm going, is this not where I'm supposed to go? And he's like, where's your wristband? And then I realized the grumpy lady at the front didn't give me a wristband.
God.
And so I was like, do I need a wristband? And he's like, you need a wristband or a badge to get in here. And I was like, okay, I guess I need. And then a Hulu employee just happened to be running by at that point, and I'm assuming somebody with authority. And so he stops and he's like, hey, is he supposed to have a badge? And then the Hulu guy was like, oh yeah, here. And then he just hands me a badge. And then I realized it's like one of the all access Hulu staff badges.
God.
And I was like, oh,
I work here.
I was like, I don't think I'm supposed to have this. And so I'm like, okay, I'm just going to walk around with it and pretend like I know what I'm doing. I know where I'm going. And I didn't know what I was doing. And I didn't know where I was going. And then I was like, I should go back to the mean lady at the front and tell her I don't think I'm supposed to have this badge because this seems like a badge that has a lot of power. And if I abuse this power, I'm going to have way too much fun. And I should not do that. So then I go back to the mean lady at the front and I'm like, hi, was I supposed to get a wristband? And she's just like, yeah. And I was like, because they gave me this and I don't think I'm supposed to have this. And she's like, yeah, give me that. So she takes the badge and then she gives me a wristband. Like she was so annoyed with me because the
I would be
carpet
too.
the
How did you
carpet
get that?
technically had not started. But I was like, I don't know where I'm going. But it's all because I didn't listen to the instruction from the lady to get on the golf carts.
And this sounds normal.
Because then I am wandering around and then I look to my right. And then next thing you know, guess what I see? All the golf carts rolling up, bringing all the talent in. And then I see all of our friends and I'm like, oh, I think I was supposed to get on the golf cart and I was supposed to be with them. And then we were all supposed to ride up together so that we could officially start the carpet. Got it. I was like, okay, I totally did this wrong.
I see that totally happening for you though. Like this is like peak you culture.
Yeah. And so then I went back up to the front with them to say hi to everybody and to not like be a loser alone inside by myself. And so they were about to walk the carpet. I was like, well, I already did that. So now we have to find something else to do. So then, yeah. And then eventually I went inside and then I sat by myself because everyone was still walking the carpet. And then all of our friends came and sat with me. When they came inside, I was so happy.
What a time. And you somehow made it out alive.
Yeah, and then we watched the episode 1 and of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives season 2. I've seen the first 3 episodes. I was one of the lucky ones, and it's
great,
very good, very good. And then Nick Vial hosted the panel afterwards, which was very boring. And then
you take one thing away from this podcast: Nick Vial boring.
Yeah. I mean, nobody's shocked by that. But then I got to go on the playground and they had all the food and then they didn't have like a full bar because I guess I don't know, they're Mormon, but they had wine. So Lewis and I drank a lot of wine that night. And
Great.
then we were gonna get into the line for the swigs. And then the line was so long that we looked at it and we're like, damn, we're not waiting in that line. And then Lewis is like, I'll just get it another time. I was like, you're gonna have to fly all the way to Utah
Yeah.
just to get a swig. And he was like, well, and then we were like, well, but that'll be good content at least. And then next
I
thing you know,
can't.
the
You
swig
two.
lady, then next thing you know, the swig lady runs right up to us like 10 seconds later. And she's like, do you guys want to try swig? And we were like, sure.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'll get you some swig if you do some content for us. And so we said, sure. And so we were taking content for her and we were tasting the swig and I had a swig. It was called Dirty Little Secret and it was so yummy. It was a Diet Dr. Pepper with
So-
coconut.
And you
I
were
was like,
creaming your
"Oh."
jeans.
It was so yummy. And I was like, I feel like I just fell out of a coconut tree and it's the best.
Guess what? Did it look like this?
No, it
Hear
was
that?
better. But it was very, and then they had Chippendales dancers that came out and they were dancing and stripping and doing that whole thing, which people there
that
didn't
fit?
understand
I
because,
didn't understand that. Where did it fit in the plot?
well, you have to see the next two episodes, which they didn't air. So I was like, I get
None of
what
it's
they were
aired.
Well, no, but we at least they screened the first episode, but there's no Chippendales in the first. The Chippendales piece comes in the next two episodes, episodes 2 and 3. So I was like, I get what they were doing, like what they were trying to do by tying this in, but nobody at this party understands why Chippendales is relevant. I guess like it was kind of relevant in the first season, but it becomes more relevant in the next two episodes.
What a time. Would you rate 10 out of 10 experience?
Yeah, it was I mean, I wish there was a full bar, but listen, the wine was great and the bartender was very cute and he knew, so like there were the standard pours for the drinks and then
Mhm.
Lewis and I made friends with him, so he gave us the extra strong pours and so then we kept going back to him and then I left him a very generous tip and he was very grateful.
What was
And
his
he
name?
followed- I don't remember.
Thank. I can't.
I was drunk, okay?
You said, nice man makes me drinks. Here's money.
Yeah. Probably more than he should have. But then I was like, I don't want to come across as cheap. And then I haven't heard from him since that night.
Well, look at you. Just thriving and drinking as you should.
But the new season of Mormon Wives is crazy. It's
I
like,
can't wait.
no, like Andy, it's crazy. Like,
Two things that come out this week is Overcompensating and Secret Lives. So
and Final Destination.
we have each seen 2 out of the 3, but each is a little different. So yeah.
Come together.
You watch Overcompensating and I'll
now.
watch the Secret Lives. I have to cover the premiere for Overcompensating.
Ooh,
So yeah, that's this week as well.
Fun.
I've already seen the whole damn thing and it was great.
fun.
Amaze. But you know what else is coming out? I saw you put
Together.
something in here.
Oh. Honey Boo Boo has a biopic that's coming out. And
Why? Like,
I don't know. But she has the biopic coming out and she says that she was super honest in it. So I guess she's worried that her mom's not going to be happy about it because she didn't hold back at all.
I love when they say I didn't hold back or so and so doesn't hold back. I'm like, what were you holding back this whole time?
But it sounds like such like an episode of True Life. I was Honey Boo Boo.
I love when they say like, I might have stayed late past my curfew, and they're like, so and so doesn't hold back, and I'm like, they said one little thing.
That was
Restrain
essentially
them.
nothing.
This is nothing.
Yeah.
Wow,
Good for
what a
her.
time.
But
Well-
what's going on with Dave Franco?
I feel like we were done with legal shit and we're back in legal shit. This is our last thing in this episode. I don't think. Okay, so my man is Dave Franco.
Mm-hmm.
Been there, done that. Would 10 out of 10 be happy if Dave Franco was around one time? Hi, Dave Franco.
Okay.
So him and I think it's Allison Brie. They're together in real life. They are in a copyright suit right now. They have this thing they premiered at Sundance called Together. Which, do you want to guess what that means based on the title? Give me like a guess.
Does it involve sperm?
No, that's anyway, I get that. So it is basically about two people who find themselves physically fused together. It's like a couple. And so they're literally like conjoined. So this film is being alleged to be called a, quote, blatant ripoff of a movie called Better Half, which was a 2023 independent film. Obviously, the theme of being conjoined with somebody else, like, there's going to be a lot of overlap. That's all I'm going to say. I'm just going to say hot out the gate. There's going to be a lot of similarities. There's going to be a lot of situations that, like, are depicted in a similar manner. It's nothing original. That's all I'm going to say this. But apparently, this is where it gets interesting, is Franco and Brie were pitched this, like, project Better Half, the thing that they were being alleged that they copied in 2020, and their agent turned it down. At the time, it was a romantic comedy for that. Theirs is a horror movie. Very different. But being physically conjoined, like, on paper, I'm just like, okay, I get where you're trying to go, but, like, I don't think that's strong enough. Like, it's dumb in my opinion. I want to read more, and, like, I haven't seen the movie and I don't know the movie's shot by shot comparison, but it is interesting to be pitched a movie that is in a very similar concept. And so Neon picked this up from the Sundance bid. It was in a bidding war. And so they're basically like saying, hey, you copied this idea because you got pitched it. What's your take?
I mean, this stuff does kind of, I mean, everything's kind of influenced by something. I remember there was a reality show that we were doing. And I remember when that was going around and being pitched to different production companies, and, you know, you have to sign agreements of, like, if you show this script or this concept or this idea, this pitch, then the company can then, you know, decide they want to take that idea for themselves, and they'll just pay you, like, a fee. So, I mean, it's not uncommon in Hollywood, and I think a lot of people sign these agreements that kind of gives creative rights away, or at least says that they can, like, pull influence from something as long as they credit you. So I don't know. I don't know the details of this specific movie all that much, but it's very. But then you also have stuff like, what was it? No Strings Attached, and what was that other movie? There was No Strings Attached, and then
Just Go With It.
No, One Night Stand. The one with Justin Timberlake. There was Ashton Kutcher, and then there was the one with Mila Kunis
And Reese Witherspoon and Will Ferrell and
No.
I'm not helpful.
So Friends with Benefits.
Yes.
So that was Justin Timberlake and Mila Kunis, and then there was No Strings Attached, which was Ashton Kutcher and Natalie Portman. And so essentially it's the same thing, right? It's two people that are just hooking up that then eventually, you know, fall in love. And they were both, I think, released in 2011. So
yeah, and the thing is, like, there's so many similar concepts. Like, the thought of being conjoined with somebody else, there's so much that's going to happen that's going to have the same striking impact.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, after a while, it's hard for people to come up with creative, original ideas.
Can you imagine us conjoined and stuck together?
No.
I would cry.
No.
I would cry. I'd somehow wake up at 4 a.m. just like you and be like, hey, Zack Pack.
Did you ever see Another Simple Favor?
The new one?
Yeah.
No. Should I?
Well, no, it's about Blake Lively, and she has triplets, and they all try to kill each other. So just piggybacking off of that.
Got it. You watched it, though.
I would be the Blake Lively. If we were ever conjoined.
You know, I'd kill me too. Well, of course, that's the end of our episode. If you want to kill me, you know where to find me. Yeah, Zack, anything you want to leave him with?
Subscribe. That's all.
Act Fool Girl. It's my last week at my job. Say thank you.
Thank you.
That's it. That's all I want. No, I'm so happy to be leaving my job. After 5 years, I'm on to my next thing. So it has been a whirlwind of a week trying to just offboard and go through the motions, but I'm on to a new publisher and new things, but it's still the same shit, different place, it seems like. So
Are you allowed to say where you're going?
I am at Gaiety for anybody who is looking to find me. Talking about gay shit this time and a lot of other shit under the sun, and I just want to focus on my creative things and have a little more freedom. And so just try a different vertical, and just you'll see some more from me and Zack in the future too. So
There we
not
go.
going nowhere.
Let's go.
Let's get it on. But okay. Thank you all for supporting the Pop Report. We'll find you very soon for more episodes, and we'll chat soon. Say bye, Zack.
Bye, Zack.
Well, oh my God, you made it this far in the episode. First of all, thank you so much. Second of all,
Subscribe.
yeah,
What are you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button.
wherever you are, just do the damn thing.
Yeah, I don't care if you're on the bus, if you're on a Tinder date. Just hit the subscribe button right now. Show us some love. That way the next episode is fresh in your inbox.
And we'll see you soon.